So we're off to another episode of the Creative Spin podcast, and today we're going. It's been interesting, Patrick. I'm looking at Patrick in the background. I know you guys are like, "Who's he looking at?" It's Patrick. He's in the background. We've had a conversation with a lawyer not too long ago. From there, we went into Star Wars, and today we're talking about financial stuff. I mean, this is amazing, right? Today's podcast is brought to you by Workplace One, a company offering boutique private offices, co-working spaces, and virtual office solutions, as well as meeting rooms in the best neighborhoods of Toronto and Kitchener-Waterloo. Ideal for entrepreneurs, companies, and passionate business people. Workplace One is where you want to be with your business. For more information, go over to workplaceone.com. Penny, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Penny, I was telling you, I'm always afraid of pronouncing last names wrong. So can you please, introduce yourself properly? Because I can't do the job.
No
I've only
problem.
been doing this for a while, but whatever.
We all know our strengths and weaknesses, don't we?
There you go.
I'm Penny Stayropoulos. I work for Lorne Steinberg Wealth Management. I'm a vice president, portfolio manager there.
Ooh, we're going to be talking money.
So my father passed away when I was 9 years old, intestate, meaning he passed away without a will or without a proper estate plan.
Okay.
So that complicated, obviously, a lot of things. And, it was the firsthand experience I've had with, one, not having a proper financial plan. And secondly, just going through from a child's perspective of, seeing your parent go through obviously unneeded stress.
Yeah. I mean, that's the last thing somebody's going to want to think about at that time, right? What I'm finding, and I have now a teenager at home and a younger one, they're not thinking so much about the money aspect of things. Do you think that there should be more attention in the school system in terms of, educating the younger kids that are in high school to learn about, this is what happens when you get a job and you get money. This is what you can do with your money. This is what happens with taxes. This is because I don't think most of the kids nowadays have any idea, or they don't really care because they kind of feel a little bit protected by the parents. But do you think that the schooling system should have something like that in place?
Well, I know in college there's electives for personal financial planning course on top of if you're taking business, and then you have your accounting courses for business and all that.
Yeah, but that's if somebody wants to get into that line of work. What I'm thinking is more towards like life in general, because what happens a lot, and I don't know, obviously you've heard these stories, people just don't know how to work their money. They don't know how to, what they're doing with it.
And I do think it actually starts at the home first versus the school. And like experiencing what I have in terms of how I grew up, I think in today's world and today's kids, they take for granted a lot of things. Yeah. Right? And there are certain things where I think even the parents can do to say, well, no, I mean, that's not it's a privilege and not a right. So having a cell phone is a privilege, not a right. I know nowadays for safety, everyone's got a cell phone. You're 8 years old and you have your cell phone because your parents want to know where you are.
The latest version, by the way.
The latest version.
Because then you're not cool.
Yeah. And with me, it was, well, if you want all these extras, get a job and go get it.
Give us like a rundown of what's the worst stuff that you see people doing with their finances.
So when I used to work at the bank level as a financial advisor and a lender, I always saw the same regular people coming in every year wanting a debt consolidation or wanting to refinance on their mortgage because over the course of the year, they've racked up the credit cards again, they've racked up their line of credits, and they essentially are spending more than what they're making. So they're living a lifestyle dependent on debt versus dependent on their income that
so
they're
every
making.
year they would fix the problem, but they would just go right back into doing the exact same things.
So, and on one end, I mean, banks like customers like that because they are always using credit. What I always did with clients was sit down with them going, okay, so we're back here again, almost a year to the day. And now I'm restructuring your debt and we're freeing up X amount of cash flow, whether it's $500, $700 a month, even $1,000 a month. I said, we need to stop this cycle, and at least 50 to 60% of what I'm saving you now has to go to savings. So I'm now freeing up this cash flow. We're saving you X amount of money on, these interest payments and credit card payments. So now let's redirect this so we can stop the cycle over time. As you build your savings, you're going to rely less and less on the debt.
So, the world is changing fast, like I said, and sometimes things happen that you have no control on. I'm obviously now thinking about this whole virus situation that we're going through in the world. This is affecting the world economy. And what would you say people should be doing at this point, or looking at this example as to, like, what should people be doing with their money right now when a worldwide crisis like this happens?
Well, as a value investor and a value philosophy, it usually goes hand in hand with having cash set aside for these opportunities. And I call them opportunities because when so many people are unprepared, the ones that is their opportunity to invest in areas where they've been beaten up.
Thank you so much for swinging by this podcast and putting us, in line with saving money and being prudent about this whole financial situation. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me, and please remember to check out my social media handles.
It'll be on the description below.
@PB Total Wealth.
We'll be back next week. There you go. All right. See you later.